Jonathan, let me go to you first. You've covered President Obama extensively. What kind of Mandela influence do you see in President Obama?
Huge influence, as the president himself said today in his statement. I believe that he said he would not be who he was without Nelson Mandela. He followed him from an early age. You may recall that when the president was a student at Occidental College in California, he took part in anti-apartheid demonstrations. He was a leader and very on that issue and focused on it. But one of the things that is really striking me tonight, Rev, is what can Americans learn and American society learn from the example of Nelson Mandela? You know, I think back to during the Civil Rights Movement, Mahatma Gandhi was very influential in the United States and on that movement with his principle of civil disobedience, and that helped to give the movement life. So what is Mandela's message? Well, today we're hearing even very conservative senators and other figures talking about the spirit of forgiveness that he embodied in Truth and Reconciliation in South Africa. So my question tonight, Rev, is can we import that spirit of forgiveness and apply it to the hundreds of thousands of people incarcerated who, for the rest of their lives, will be stigmatized by this? Could we figure out a way to forgive them, maybe expunge some of those records, release some prisoners who've been with 3 strikes and you're out? You have people who have been there for
so you're saying years. Can we find ways in our memorializing Mandela to really actualize him? James Peterson, what can the president being influenced by Nelson Mandela mean for us as a nation and us politically?
Well, I mean, Rev, I love all the stuff you've been saying about Nelson Mandela, and I love what Jonathan Alter just said, and I hope people can hear that, because if you want to really talk about how do you celebrate and commemorate the life of Mandela, then one of the things you can do is take his prison narrative, his narrative of being in prison for 27 years, and remember, he goes into prison as a terrorist, right? He is a terrorist in terms of how the South African government sees him. And so in order for us to understand how do we import that spirit, like Jonathan is saying, is you got to take that narrative and think about what was his mentality when he came out, to embrace those who imprisoned him, to embrace those who oppressed and killed and maimed his people. I mean, that level of consensus building, that level of commitment to love and forgiveness is something that every nation, not just the United States, every nation can love and grow from.